विद्महे शिवातत्वाय धीमहि तन्नो मोहन प्रचोदयात्। ॐ पराब्रह्माय विद्महे शिवातत्वाय धीमहि तन्नो मोहन प्रचोदयात्। ॐ पराब्रह्माय विद्महे शिवातत्वाय धीमहि तन्नो मोहन प्रचोदयात्। ॐ गं गणेशाय नमः। ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिं वर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनान् मृत्योर्मुक्षयमामृतात्। ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिं वर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनान् मृत्योर्मुक्षयमामृतात्। ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिं वर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनान् मृत्योर्मुक्षयमामृतात्। ॐ हरिं भगलामुखि ॐ फट् स्वाहा। ॐ हरिं भगलामुखि ॐ फट् स्वाहा। ॐ हरिं भगलामुखि ॐ फट् स्वाहा। ॐ श्री गुरुदेव दत्त। ॐ श्री गुरुदेव दत्त। ॐ श्री गुरुदेव दत्त। ॐ नमः शिवाय। ॐ नमः शिवाय। ॐ नमः शिवाय। ॐ पराब्रह्मणे नमः। ॐ पराब्रह्मणे नमः। ॐ पराब्रह्मणे नमः। ॐ पराब्रह्माय विद्महे शिवातत्वाय धीमहि तन्नो मोहन प्रचोदयात्। ॐ श्री साईनाथाय नमः। ॐ श्री साईनाथाय नमः। ॐ श्री साईनाथाय नमः। Jai Mohanji. My name is Jai Shri and I'm from the Mohanji Tatatapavan Ashram in Durban. Today I'm going to read to you chapters 25 and 26 from the Sai Sat Charitra. Okay, chapter 25. We begin this chapter with a bow with all our 8 limbs to Sai Baba, who is an ocean of mercy, the God incarnate, who is Parabrahma and the great Yogeshwar, Lord of Yoga. Victory be unto Sai Baba, who is a crest jewel of the saints, who is a home of all auspicious things, who is our Atman, our dear self, and who is the able refuge of the devotees. We prostrate ourselves before him, who has attained the aim and end of life. Sai Baba is always full of mercy. What is wanted on our part is wholehearted devotion to him. When a devotee has got firm faith and devotion, his wishes are soon fulfilled. When the desire arose in the mind of Hemanpat to write the life and Leelas of Sai Baba, he immediately got it written by him. When the order to keep the memos was given, Hemantpad was inspired and his intellect got strength and boldness to undertake and finish the work. He was not, he say, qualified to write the work, but the gracious blessings of Baba enabled him to complete the undertaking. And thus you have this Sat Charitra, which is Somakancho, from which nectar in the form of Sai Leelas oozes out for the readers to drink to the heart's content. Whenever a devotee had complete and wholehearted devotion to Sai Baba, all his calamities and dangers were warded off and his welfare attended to by Baba. The story of Damodar Salgaram Resane, Kesar of Ahmednagar, now of Purna, alias Damo Anna, illustrating the above statement, is given below. The readers are aware that a mention of this gentleman was made in the 6th chapter regarding the celebration of Ram Navami festival in Shirdi. He went to Shirdi about the year 1895 when the Ram Navami Utsava celebration began, and from that time he has been providing an ornamental flag for that occasion every year. He also feeds the poor and the fakirs that come there for the festival. A Bombay friend of Damo Anna wrote to him that they should do some cotton speculation business in partnership, which would bring them about 2 lakhs of rupees as profit. Damo Anna says in his statement made about the year 1936 to Mr. B.V. Narasimha Swami that the proposal about speculating at Bombay in cotton was from a broker who was not to be a partner, and that he, referring to Damo Anna, was to be the sole adventurer of the devotee's experience, part 2. The broker wrote that the business was good and involved no risk, and the opportunity should not be lost. Damo Anna was oscillating in his mind. He could not at once determine to venture in the speculation. He thought about this, and as he was a devotee of Baba, he wrote a detailed letter to Sharma, giving all the facts and requested him to consult Baba and take his advice in the matter. Sharma got the letter next day, and when he came with it at noon to the masjid and placed it before Baba, he asked Sharma what the matter was and what the paper letter was about. He replied that Damu Anna of Nagar wanted to consult him about something. Then Baba said, "What does he write? And what does he plan?" "It seems that he wants to catch the sky and is not content with what God has given him." Sharma read the letter and then said, "The letter contains what you have just said now. O Deva, you sit here calm and composed and agitate the devotees, and when they get restless, you draw them here, some in person and others through letters. If you know the content of the letter, why do you then press me to read it?" Baba said, "Oh Shama, read it please. I speak at random, and he who believes me." Then Shama read the letter, and Baba heard it attentively and said feelingly, "The Shet has gone mad. Write to him in reply that nothing is wanting in his house. Let him be content with the half loaf of bread he has now, and let him not bother himself about the lakhs." Shama sent the reply, which Damu Anna was anxiously waiting for. Reading it, he found that all his hopes and prospects about lakhs of rupees as profit were dashed to the ground. He thought that he had done a mistake in consulting Baba. But as Sharma had hinted in the reply, that there was always much difference in seeing and hearing, and that therefore he should come to Shirdi personally and see Baba. He thought it advisable to go to Shirdi and consult Baba personally about the affair. So he went to Shirdi, saw Baba, prostrated himself before him, and sat shampooing his legs. He had no courage to ask Baba openly about the speculation, but he thought in his mind that it would be better if some share in the business should be assigned to Baba, and said in his prophet and said in his mind that if Baba were to help him in this transaction, he would surrender some share of profits to him. Damo Anna was thus thinking secretly in his mind, but nothing was veiled from Baba. Everything, past, present, and future, were clear to him as an amalaka fruit in hand. A child wants sweets, but its mother gives bitter pills. The former spoils health, while the latter improves it. So the mother, looking to the welfare of her infant, coaxes it and gives it bitter pills. Baba, kind mother as he was, knew the present and future prospect of his devotees, and therefore, reading Damo Anna's mind, he openly spoke to him. Bapu, I do not want to be entangled in any such worldly things, sharing profits. Seeing Baba's disapproval, Damo Anna dropped the enterprise. Then he thought of trading in grain, rice, wheat, and other groceries. Baba also read this thought and said to him, you will be buying at 5 seers and selling at 7 seers a rupee. So this business was also given up. The rise in the prices of grain was kept up for some time, and Baba's prophecy seemed to be falsified. But in a month or two, there was abundant rain everywhere, and the prices suddenly fell down, and therefore those who stored grains suffered a severe loss. Damo Anna was saved from this fate. Needless to say that the cotton speculation, which was conducted by the broker with the help of another merchant, also collapsed with a severe loss to the adventurers. After seeing that Baba had saved him from two severe losses in cotton and grain speculation, Damo Anna's faith in Baba grew strong, and he remained a true devotee of Baba till his passing away, and even now. Once a parcel of about 300 good mangoes were received at Shirdi. It was sent from Goa by a Mamlaturdar named Rale to Sai Baba in the name of Shama. When it was opened, all the mangoes were found to be in a good condition. They were given in Shama's charge, and only 4 were retained and placed in the Kolamba pot by Baba. He said that these 4 fruits are for Damo Anna. Let them lie there. This Damo Anna had 3 wives. According to his statement mentioned above, he had not 3 but 2 wives only. He had no issue. He consulted many astrologers and himself studied astrology to some extent, and found that as there was a puppy, inauspicious planet in his horoscope, there was no prospect of any issue to him in this life. But he had great faith in Baba. When he went to Shirdi 2 hours after the receipt of the mango parcel for worshipping Baba, he said, though other people are looking for the mangoes, they are Dhamyas. He whose they are should eat and die. Damo Anna, on hearing these words, was first shocked. But Malsapati, a prominent Shuddhi devotee, explained to him that death meant the death of the little self or egos, and to have it at Baba's feet was a blessing. He said that he would accept the fruits and eat them. But Baba said to him, do not eat yourself, but give them to your junior wife. This Amra Leela, mango miracle of 4 mangoes, will give her 4 sons and 4 daughters. This was done, and ultimately in due course it was found Baba's words turned out true. and not those of the astrologers. Baba's speech established its efficacy on greatness while he was living in the flesh, but wonder of wonders, it did the same even after his passing away. Baba said, "Believe me, though I pass away, my bones in the tomb will give you hope and confidence. Not only myself, but my tomb would be speaking, moving, and communicating with those who would surrender themselves wholeheartedly to me. Do not be anxious that I would be absent from you. You will hear my bones speaking and discussing your welfare. But remember me always. Believe in me, heart and soul, and then you will be the most benefited." Hemanthat closed this chapter with a prayer. Om Sai Sat the wish fulfilling tree of the Bhaktas. Let us never forget and lose sight of your feet. We have been troubled with the ins and outs, births and deaths in this samsara. Now free us from the cycle of births and deaths. Restrain us from the outgoing of our senses to their objects, and introvert us and bring us face to face with the Atma, the Self. As long as this outgoing tendency of the senses and the mind is not checked, there is no prospect of self realization. Neither son, nor wife, nor friend will be of any use in the end. It is only you who will give us salvation and happiness. Destroy completely our tendency for discussions and other evil matters. Let our tongue get a passion for chanting your name. Drive out our thoughts, good or otherwise, and make us forget our bodies and houses and do away with our egoism. Make us ever remember your name and forget all other things. Remove the restlessness of our mind and make it steady and calm. If you just clasp us, the darkness of night, of our ignorance will vanish, and we shall live happily in your light. That you might made us drink the nectar of your leelas and awakened us from our slumber is due to your grace and our store of merits in past births. In this connection, the following extract from Damu Amma's statement mentioned above is worth perusal. You will find it on page 76 of the Sai Sat Charitra. Once, when I sat at his feet, along with many others, I had two questions in my mind, and he gave answers to both. There are so many crowding to Sai Baba. Do they all get benefit from him? To this he replied orally, "Look at the mango tree in blossom. If all the flowers brought fruit, what a splendid crop it would be. But do they? Most fall off, either as flowers or as unripe fruits, by wind. Very few remain." The second question was about myself. If Baba were to pass away, how hopelessly adrift I would be, and how am I to fare then? To this Baba answered that he would be with me whenever I thought of him. That promise he had kept up before 1918 and has been keeping up after 1918. He is still with me. He is still guiding me. This was about 1910 or 1911 when brothers separated from me and my sister died, and there was a theft and police inquiry, all of which incidents upset me very much. When my sister died, my mind was much upset. I did not care for life and enjoyments. When I went to Baba, he pacified me with his Upadesh and made me eat a feast of Puran Poli at Upper Kulkarni's house and got pasted with sandal. There was a theft in my house. A 30 years friend of mine stole my wife's jewel box, including her auspicious Nati nose ring. I wept before Baba's photo. The next day, the man returned the jewel box and prayed for pardon. This brings to an end chapter 25. We bow to Shuddhi Sai, peace be to all. Chapter 26. All the things that we see in the universe are nothing but a play of Maya, the creative power of the Lord. These things do not really exist. What really exists is the real absolute. Just as we mistake a rope of a garland or a stick for a serpent on account of darkness, we always see the phenomena, that is, things as they outwardly appear, and not the noumena, which underlies all the visible things. It is only the Satguru that opens the eyes of our understanding and enables us to see things in their true light and not as they appear. Let us therefore worship the Satguru and pray to him to give us the true vision, which is nothing but God vision. Heavenpad has given us a novel form of worship. Let us, he says, use hot water in the form of tears of joy to wash the Satguru's feet. Let us besmear his body with sandal paste of pure love. Let us cover his body with the cloth of true faith. Let us offer 8 lotuses in the form of our 8 sattvic emotions and fruit in the form of our concentrated mind. Let us apply to his head buka black powder in the form of devotion and tie the waistband of bhakti and place our head on his toes. After decorating the Satguru with all jewelry in this way, let us offer our all to him and wave chamar of devotion to ward of heat. After such blissful worship, let us pray thus. Introvert our mind, turn it inward, give us discrimination before the unreal and the real and non-attachment for all worldly things, and thus enable us to get self-realization. We surrender ourselves, body and soul, body consciousness and ego. Make our eyes yours so that we should never feel pleasure and pain. Control our body and mind as you will wish. Let our mind get rest in your feet. Let us go to the chapter for the stories. Once it so happened that a devotee by the name of Pant, a disciple of another Sadguru, had the good fortune of visiting Shirdi. He had no mind to go to Shirdi, but man proposes one way and God disposes the other. He was traveling in a B&B and CI railway station, in a railway train, where he met many friends and relations bound for Shirdi. They all asked him to accompany them, and he could not say no. They alighted at Bombay, while Pant got down at Virar. There he took the permission of his Satguru for the Shirdi trip, and after arranging for the expenses, left with the party for Shirdi. They all reached the place in the morning and went to the masjid at about 11 a.m. Seeing the concourse of the devotees assembled for Baba's worship, they were all pleased, but Pant suddenly got a fit and fell senseless. They were all frightened. Still, they tried their best to bring him to his senses. With Baba's grace and with pitchers of water, which they poured over his head, he regained his consciousness and sat upright as if he was just awakened from sleep. The omniscient Baba, knowing that he was a disciple of another Guru, assured him fearlessness and confirmed his faith in his own Guru by addressing him as follows. Come what may, leave not, but stick to your bolster, that is, support your Guru, and even remain steady, always at one mint, in union with him. Pant at once knew the significance of his remark, and thus he was reminded of his Satguru. This kindness of Baba he never forgot in his life. There was a gentleman by the name of Harish Chandra Pita in Bombay. He had a son who suffered from epilepsy. He tried many allopathic and Ayurvedic doctors, but there was no cure. There remained only one way of remedy, namely resorting to the saints. It has been stated in chapter 15 that Das Ganu, by his ini- inimitable, imitable and splendid kirtan spread the fame of Sai Baba in the Bombay Presidency. Mr. Pital heard some of these kirtans in 1910 and learned therefrom and from others that Baba, by his touch and mere glance, cured many incurable diseases. Then a desire rose in his mind to see Sai Baba, making all preparations and taking presents and baskets. Mr. Pital came to Shirdi with family, wife, and children. He then went to the masjid with them, prostrated before Baba, and placed his sick son on Baba's feet. No sooner Baba saw the child than an untoward thing happened. The son immediately revolved his eyes and fell down senseless. His mouth began to foam and his whole body began to perspire profusely, and it seemed as if he had breathed himself out. Seeing this, the parents became very nervous and excited. The boy used to get such fits very often, but this fit seemed to persist long. Tears began to flow ceaselessly from the mother's eyes, and she began to wail, crying that her condition was like that of a person who, being afraid of the robbers, ran into a house which collapsed on him, or like a cow fearing a tiger, ran into the hands of a butcher, or like a traveler who, being tormented by the heat of the sun, went to take refuge under a tree which fell upon him, or like a devout person going for worship into a temple which collapsed upon him. Then Baba comforted her, saying, "Do not wail like this. Wait a bit. Have patience. Take the boy to your lodging. He will come to his senses within half an hour." They did as directed by Baba and found that his words came true. As soon as he was taken into the water, the boy recovered, and all the Pital family, husband, wife, and others, were very delighted, and all their doubts disappeared. Then Mr. Pital came with his wife to see Baba and prostrated himself before him, very humbly and respectfully, and sat shampooing his legs and mentally thanking Baba for his help. Baba then smilingly said, "Are not all your thoughts, doubts, and apprehensions calm now? Calm down now? Hurry, the Lord will protect him. Who has got faith and patience?" Mr. Pital was a rich and well-to-do gentleman. He distributed sweetmeat on a large scale and gave Baba excellent fruits and pan. Mrs. Pital was a very sattvic lady, simple, loving, and faithful. She used to sit near the post staring at Baba with tears of joy flowing down from her eyes. Seeing her of an amicable and loving nature, Baba was much pleased with her. Like gods, saints are always dependent on their devotees who surrender and worship them with their heart and soul. After passing some happy days in Baba's company, the Pital family came to the masjid to take Baba's leave to depart. Baba gave them udi and blessings and called Mr. Pital close by and said to him, "Bapu, I had given you before 2 rupees. Now I give you 3 rupees. Keep these in your shrine for worship, and you will be benefited." Mr. Pital accepted this as prasad, prostrated himself again before Baba, and prayed for his blessings. A thought arose in his mind that as that was his first trip to Shirdi, he could not understand what Baba meant when he said he had given 2 rupees previously. He was curious to have this mystery solved, but Baba kept silent. When Mr. Pital returned to Bombay, he narrated to his old mother all that had happened at Shirdi and the mystery about Baba giving him 2 rupees formally. The mother also did not understand the mystery, but thinking seriously about that, she was reminded of an old incident which solved the mystery. She said to her son, "As you now went to Sai Baba with your son, so had your father done when he took you to Akakot for the darshana of the Maharaj there many years ago. That Maharaj was also a Siddha, perfect yogi, omniscient and liberal. Your father was pure devout and his worship was accepted. He then gave your father 2 rupees for being kept in the shrine and worship. Your father worshipped them accordingly till his death. But thereafter the worship was neglected and the rupees were lost. After some years, the memory of those 2 rupees also disappeared. And now, as you are very fortunate, the Akakot Maharaj had appeared to you in the form of Sai Baba just to remind you to do your duties and worship and to ward off all dangers. Now be away henceforth. Leave off all doubts and bad thoughts. Follow your ancestors and behave well. Go on worshipping the family gods and the rupees. Appraise properly and take pride in the blessing of the saints. Sai Samat has kindly revived the spirit of bhakti in you. Cultivate it in your benefit. Hearing the remarks of the mother, Mr. Patel was very delighted. He came to know and he was convinced about all the pervasiveness of Baba and the significance of his darshan. From that time, he became very careful about his behavior. Mr. Gopal Narayan Ambakar of Purna was a devotee of Baba. He served for 10 years in the Abkari department in the Thana district in Jawar state, from where he had to retire. He tried to get some other job, but he did not succeed. He was overtaken by other calamities, and his condition grew from bad to worse. He passed 7 years in this condition, visiting Shirdi every year and placing his grievance before Baba. In 1916, his plight became worse and he decided to commit suicide in Shirdi. So he came there with his wife and stayed for 2 months. One night, while sitting in a bullock cart in front of Dixit Father, he resolved to end his life by throwing himself into a well close by. He proposed to do one way, but Baba wished to do something else. A few paces from this place, there was a hotel, and its proprietor, Mr. Shagun, a devotee of Baba, came out and accosted him thus. Did you ever read this Akakot Maharaj's life? Ambakar took the book from Shagun and began to read it. Casually, or we may say provincially, he came across a story which was to this effect. During the lifetime of Akakot Maharaj, a certain devotee suffered very much from an incurable disease, and when he could not endure the agony and pain no longer, he became desperate, and to end his miseries threw himself one night into a well. Immediately the Maharaja came there and took him out with his own hands and advised him thus: You must enjoy the fruit, good or bad, of your past actions. If the enjoyment be incomplete, suicide won't help you. You have to take another birth and suffer again. So instead of killing yourself, why not suffer for some time and finish up your store of the fruit of your past deeds and be done with it once and for all? Reading this appropriate and timely story, Ambakar was much surprised and moved. He had not got Baba's hint through the story. He would have been more on seeing Baba's all pervasiveness and benevolence. In in him, his faith in him was confirmed, and he became a staunch devotee. His father was a devotee of Akakot Maharaj, and Sai Baba wanted him to walk into his father's footsteps and continue his devotion to him. He then got Sai Baba's blessings, and his prospects began to improve. He studied astrology and gained proficiency in it and thereby improved his lot. He was able to earn sufficient money and passed after life in ease and comfort. This brings to an end chapter 26. About to Shruti Sai, peace be to us all. Om Parabrahmaya Vigmahi Shivatattvaya Dhimahi Tanno Mohan Prachodayat. Om Para Brahmaya Vikmahi Shiva Tattvaya Dhimahi Tanno Mohan Prachodayat. Om Para Brahmaya Vikmahi Shiva Tattvaya Dhimahi Tanno Mohan Prachodayat. Jai Mohanji. I hope you enjoyed the readings of chapter 25 and 26 today. Please do join us tomorrow to listen to more chapters read by other devotees of the Sri Sai Sat Charitra. Sorry. Please join us tomorrow and enjoy listening to the stories and of Baba. Thank you very much and stay blessed. Jai Mohanji.